What's going on, Orlando Magic fans? Didn't expect to be here like this after 3 games, did we? Wow. Welcome to the Six Man Show Postgame Live. Presented by Thrivent. Magic lose 110-98 at the hands of the Chicago Bulls without Kobe White. No Jalen Suggs for the Magic, so that's not nothing. But no Kobe White for the Bulls. The Magic fail to score 100 points. The Magic shoot 12.5% from 3, and they lose by 12 to the Chicago Bulls. And that is where we are after 3 games into this season. Wow. What a surprise. Welcome to the Six Man Show Postgame Live presented by Thrivent. This is the show where you get involved in the chat. And so, obviously, a lot to talk about, you know. Off-season, preseason, we're riding high. After game 1, we're riding high, but, you know, it wasn't a great performance, but, you know, you win. Tonight, I can't even imagine what the chat is saying because this is a shocking turn of events over the last 26 and a half hours or so. 2 very uninspiring, very poor performances with losses against teams that you definitely should be better than. So, anyway, can't wait to talk about it with you. It's going to be an interesting night, but this show is brought to you by Marc.abraham. Marc.abraham is a financial advisor with Thrivent in Central Florida, and in fact, he's a diehard Magic fan and season ticket holder as well. Sits in the top of Section 118 for almost every game. I know he's just as upset as all of us are after tonight, but anyway, yeah, look, financial advisors can do a lot of things. One thing that Marc prides himself on is helping people that are in debt as well. You know, the vast majority of people in this country are in crippling debt. And if that is you, if you are dealing with debt of any kind that you feel is weighing down on you, why don't you reach out to Marc? Marc can potentially have some solutions for you, whether it's debt consolidation or maybe an aggressive plan to attack your debt. Trust me, I've been there. Being in major debt is zero fun. And so if you would like to reach out to someone who could maybe advise you on different ways to get out of it, Marc would be a great person to contact. You can find him at 407-366-4364 or check out all of his information in the description below. Big shout out to Marc.abraham and Thrivent for sponsoring the show this season. All right, we got a couple super chats to start us off tonight. The first one comes from Who Are You? It says 3 of 24 from 3. We are so back to Magic Ball. Facts, man. It's just hard to believe. It genuinely, it is hard for me to believe. Last season was hard to believe in itself, but I just assumed that the world would reset once we started a new season. Like the basketball universe could not replicate what we saw last year. And after 1 game, that was true. We shot 40% on Wednesday. Last night, not great. Tonight, abysmal. 12.5% from 3 tonight. Hard to believe that that's real and it's happening again. Thank you for that super chat. We got another one. This is from Only Mellow. Says, I get that we played not so good, but these refs are horrible. I can't stand the inconsistencies. I'm glad you brought this up because multiple things can be true tonight, including, number 1, the Magic played horribly. The Magic played terrible basketball tonight. That is true. Also true is the officiating was horrendous. Very poor. Very, very poor. And I'm not just talking fouls, right? Like, you feel like they call it one way on one side of the floor and a different way on the other side of the floor. That's part of it. But, I mean, some very basic things tonight were very poorly called. None worse to me than the Desmond Bane carry call. You can't carry on the first dribble. That's not how that works. And so did it look awkward? Yes. He brought the ball around, but it's his first dribble. You can't carry on a first dribble. That's not a thing. That's basic basketball. I couldn't believe the call. Desmond Bane was saying the same thing. He was saying, it's my first dribble. You can dribble your first dribble however you want. It's once you're into your dribble, then you can't carry or whatever. But, like, what is that? That's basic basketball. Couldn't believe it. So add that to the list of just, again, the foul calling was awful. How many times did Powell get fouled tonight and not get called? We saw Franz a couple times too. Wendell, man, it's tough. So you're right. The refs were terrible, but also the Magic were also terrible. Both are true. Thank you for that super chat, Only Mel. And then we also got a super chat here from Christopher Welch. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. And hey, if you want to get involved, the best way to do it is through the super chats. Every single super chat is read. And so, yeah, if you want to have your voice heard on the show tonight, super chats are the way to go. Outside of that, I will do my best to get through as many of these messages from the regular chat as we can. And we'll go do that now. Let's see what we got here. Luis Rosario says, back-to-back at home and you play this bad only means the road trip is going to be even more difficult for them to control. Here's what's scary. You're exactly right. Here's what's scary. You had a 3-game window to start the season to where you could kind of get your legs under you, figure yourself out a little bit. You're not going to figure yourself out totally in 3 games, but you're at home, got a chance to get some momentum against 3 teams that you should beat. That sets you up because then you have this 5-game East Coast road trip coming up. And on paper, there's a lot of winnable games there. But on paper, the last 3 games were winnable too. And you almost went 0-3. So it's a little concerning. We'll see how this team does on the road, but I don't know, man. Very concerning. Christopher Welch with another super chat says, Tyus Jones might be the worst defender I've seen. Man. Tyus has just not been good. Tonight goes 0 of 5 from 3, 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, which means he has not knocked down a 3 this year, I don't think. I think he's gone 0 for in all 3 games. Let's see. Yep, Atlanta was 0 for 2, Miami was 0 for 3, and tonight he was 0 for 2. The only credit I'll give is that the coaching staff didn't bring him back late in the game. I thought they were going to, but yeah, the Tyus thing has not worked out so far. It's, again, people aren't going to like it, but it's a mathematical fact. It is still early. It is still very early in the season. Look around the rest of the league. The Magic are not the only team that have been surprisingly poor. There have been some teams that you would have expected to be undefeated or at least 500 through 5 days of the season or whatever it's been, who are in bad situations. The Clippers, again, we mentioned it the other day. The Clippers lost by 20 to the Jazz on their opening night. Like lots of different results that you wouldn't expect. It is early in the season. That's a mathematical fact. But there's a lot of concerning things so far, especially the last, like I said, 26 and a half hours. A lot of things that I'm quite concerned about. Thanks for the super chats. Okay, Destined for Greatness says, like Jonathan said after the first game, I'm afraid we have reached the point where we have no identity. Man, I don't know. You're not wrong. But our goal was, with this new offense and the new pace and everything, that we would find a new identity. But through 3 games, that is not the case, because game 1, you had the fast pace. Game 2 and 3, you have not. So if that was your identity, where is it gone? Because now we're right back to the same old slow, ugly Magic basketball where you can't knock down threes, can't get out in transition, can't do all those things. So what is your identity? I think that's a valid question. Valid question. Let's see. We just got a super chat, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, we did. It's from Tim. Tim McDermott with the super chat. Thank you so much for that super chat. Really, really, really appreciate it. Oh, let's see. Jory B says, finally, Jace minutes. Yeah, Jace plays. Amazing. So glad he got out there. It wasn't great. 1 of 3 from the field. Missed both of his 3-pointers, but made a couple nice plays. Could have been worse. He scored more than Tyus in 6 fewer minutes, so that's something. Just saying. Wow. Ty Mr. TV says, go back to the old uniforms and logo. We forgot who we were. Well, the thing is, we played like the old logo tonight. Tonight was like a 2024-25 Orlando Magic game. So, yeah, put back the old logo for that. Man alive. Destined for Greatness says, we've lost that gritty edge about us. More concerned with arguing for calls than playing defense. Unfortunately, I think there's some truth to that. And granted, a night like tonight where the officiating's so bad, it's natural to get frustrated, but you also have to be able to compartmentalize, right? Easy for me to say. I know that sounds ridiculous. But he also says we could trade Curry and we could trade for Curry and he magically wouldn't be able to hit the broadside of a barn. It's just the wildest thing, guys. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how this team continues to not be able to shoot the basketball. It's crazy. All right, we'll come back to the chat in just a second. There are 160 of you with us on this Saturday night. Wow. You guys are absolute maniacs if you're here on a Saturday night. There's a lot of other things you could be doing on a Saturday night, but to be here, this is like a Magic therapy session after 3 games, and so I'm glad you guys are here. A couple things I want to remind you of. First off, our first watch party of the season is coming up on Monday at Tin Roof on iDrive, the Magic's first road game of the season. They're playing in Philadelphia, and once again, we're partnering with the Orlando Magic for the official watch parties this season. And so Monday at the Tin Roof on iDrive. The game tips off at 7, so the watch party will be at 6:30. Jonathan will be there, so come on out and hang out with him and enjoy, hopefully, a bounce-back game for the Magic. The other thing, want to let you know about memberships. This is a new thing we've rolled out recently here on YouTube. We're for just $5 a month, as long as you're not paying on your iPhone, which then it's $7 a month, but you can blame Apple for that. For $5 a month, you can be a member of our channel, which gets you a few benefits like some cool emojis, get some cool stars next to your name, and the longer you're a member, the cooler the star becomes, as well as some other benefits and perks and things that we're going to be rolling out this season. And so $5 a month, and plus it's just a way to support the show, support the channel, help other people find our content. Really, really appreciate it. All right, we got a couple super chats while I was running my mouth. Nick Monk says, Tyus is a cone on defense and can't hit a 3 now. It's just the wildest thing. The defense thing, okay. We knew coming into this that Tyus wasn't going to be a great defender, but the 3-point shooting, there's just no explanation. Why does this happen, guys? Why does this happen where guys come here and they can't shoot? Why? Why does that happen? Even Desmond tonight was 0 for 2. Like, why does that happen? Thank you for that super chat, Nick. And then we have one from Silver Lining who says, why this team is playing fast. It's leading to turnovers. Yeah, and the thing, like, tonight I didn't feel it was as fast as Wednesday, but it's the problem is it's not leading to good offense, right? Like, I honestly could live with turnovers, like a higher number of turnovers, if we converted offensively more often, right? It's the give and take, like, sure, if you're out and running and you're scoring on most possessions, but then you turn the ball over a decent amount, that's fine. But the problem is we're not doing either. We're not scoring and we're turning the ball over. And that's a recipe for a disaster, for a 98-point disaster against the Chicago Bulls. It's not good, guys. It's not good. But you don't need me to tell you that. All right, back to the chat we go. Let's see. Eric Vario, who is a channel member, says the officiating is terrible. It was very bad tonight. We've talked about it a lot, but it was just absolutely egregious. All right, I got to skip ahead a little bit. There's a ton of you in the chat. And this is the second night of a back-to-back for me as well. So let's see. John Denver says the team is gassing out. The body language looks terrible. I know it's the second night of a back-to-back after you haven't played a back-to-back in 7 months or whatever it's been since. No, that's not been 7 months. That's too long. 5 months since you played back-to-backs last. I get it, but man, it's just not good. The body language is not good. I know the team's tired in that fourth quarter. You could tell, but unfortunately, the team's body language wasn't good all night. A couple more super chats just came in here. Luis Rosario says, wait till next week when we go 1-4. Lottery watch. Oh, Luis, please, no. Please, no. I can't handle that. No, I can't handle it. I hope you're wrong. Eric Avario says, refs were calling stuff for Giddey and not calling the same thing for our all-star. I'm so frustrated. I'm literally cleaning my kitchen. That's funny. You're 100% right. Again, the calls, it was just so one-sided. Powell got whacked several times. Franz got whacked very early in the game. You guys remember where he got hit? I'm trying to remember. He got hit and then what happened? He fell. Was that the Vooch screen? Is that when I think that's when he fell and then was slow to get up. The Magic got the ball back and he was able to finish. That was a play. There was another play where he went up for a dunk or a layup or something, got absolutely whacked and no call. Very early in this game, they set that trend very, very early in this game. And I mean, they were consistently not calling fouls for the Orlando Magic. Very bad. Speaking of bad, the only hero says, this is bad. The offense is bad. Defense is not elite. Tyus Jones looking like KCP with bad defense. This team looks terrible without Jalen Suggs playing. I don't know. It's earlier, so I have hope, but bad start. Yeah. Go back to last season. What was this team's record with Jalen Suggs versus without Jalen Suggs? Pretty condemning statistics there. And it's carrying over to this season so far. You don't just lose tonight, you lose ugly. I know it's only 12 points, so it's not like a true blowout, but the Magic team this team was never in this game tonight, ever. Freezing my Kucherov. By the way, what a day to have Kucherov in your name. Congratulations to Kuch. Bulls broadcast using the old Magic logo. Well, I don't blame them because, again, this looked like the old Orlando Magic. This looked like the 2024-25 Orlando Magic. To a T, this looked exactly like last season. Exactly like it, which is terrifying. We made moves this summer to not end up in this situation, even though we're down Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner. You should be able to score 100 points without Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner. I'm sorry. It's wild. I know it's the second night of back-to-back. I know it's early in the season. All those things. The sky is not falling for me yet, but it's not a good omen. I'll put it that way. To me, to start the season like this. Feels bad. All right, man, I gotta book it here. Let's keep going. I'm going to skip down a little bit further here. A lot of people saying we look terrible. 100% true. S. Walker says guys can't guard up and get in rhythm. Yeah, rhythm is a great word for this. There is zero rhythm to this team offensively, which is not good. Not good after 3 games. Ohaska says Paolo has not looked good. Paolo looked better in stretches tonight. He ends up with 24 and 10, but he did shoot 7 of 21 from the field. Not good. He had a good stretch in the first quarter where you're like, okay, he's getting there. I think he had 10 points in the first quarter. But on the night, 7 of 21 from the field, you just can't do that. I was really hoping for a good bounce back game. And again, it wasn't as bad as last night. Let's be very clear. It just wasn't good. It wasn't great. We needed great tonight. Ernesto, this is so true. Desmond has some of the worst turnovers. We were warned about this. If you watched our episode, the day that we acquired Desmond Bane, we had Daniel Greer on the show who covers the Memphis Grizzlies, and this is exactly what he said. He said, you love Desmond Bane. He's going to knock down threes. He's going to play defense. He can do all those things, but he is going to have some head-scratching turnovers. And that has happened in all 3 games this week. The one that sticks out the most in my mind was where he just blatantly just flat out lost the ball out of bounds. Like zero pressure, zero excuses. Just lost the ball out of bounds about at midcourt. And that was when the team was like trying to get back into this game. Like they had opportunities and woof. Man, I'm a little bit shell-shocked, if I'm being honest, guys, that this is where we sit after 3 games. By the way, there's still more of you showing up here, over 175 of you on YouTube and many more watching over on X. If this is your first time with us, by the way, we're the 6-Man Show. We put out Orlando Magic content all the time, literally all the time. Off-season, regular season, doesn't matter. This is the Postgame Live, our Postgame Live show, which is our show after every single Orlando Magic game here on YouTube and simulcast over on X. And so if you are brand new around here and you're looking for more Magic content, why don't you hit that subscribe button here on YouTube? It's free, and it gets you connected with us to where you can get all the content that we put out. And if you'll leave a like on this video, that would be really great. Hey, again, second night of a back-to-back for us. You think it's fun, having to sit here in our feels after going 0-2? I'm just as disheveled as you. And so to cheer us up, leave us a like. It'll help other Magic fans find the content. That was stupid. Whatever. Anyway, all right, we got another super chat here. This is from Nick Monk. Says, most of Paolo's middies are barely grazing front rim. Yeah, he looked exhausted tonight. He looked tired tonight. And we talked about it after last night's game. Last night's game almost looked like he was sick. Like, if you think about, Paolo's had a couple games in his career where he's been ill. The biggest one that comes to mind is when he hit the game winner in Detroit 2 seasons ago, when he was definitely sick. And last night he looked like that. It looked the same. And tonight, again, he wasn't terrible, but he just wasn't the same guy. And especially like the middies, like you're talking about. Just being short all the time it's not great. We've had a couple more super chats come in here. You guys are just on fire with these super chats. I really appreciate it. Eric Avario, who's a channel member, says, no one had decent court vision. Prunty pass seminar. There's part of it, I think, is the frustrating part is obviously the score and the 3-point shooting, whatever. But optically, like this team looked the same as last season, meaning there's just a lot of the ball just getting stuck in places. And maybe some credit goes to Chicago. I mean, Chicago starts the season 2-0. They beat Detroit on Wednesday, who's supposed to be very good. They beat us tonight, who are supposed to be very good. And so maybe their defense is better than we thought it was going to be, but the ball is just getting stuck. And guys are getting double teamed, or we're not able to take advantage and find the open guy. And so I don't know. It's not what we expected. Magic Wired, thank you for the super chat. He says, 09 Magic had a similar start. That's true. 2009 Magic did not get off to a great start and obviously went on a great run, both in the regular season and obviously ultimately in the playoffs. And so, I mean, it's a great reminder that the sky is not falling, right? But there are some concerning trends that have to be corrected, and corrected fast, because you are now going on a 5-game road trip against some pretty good teams. And then we got another super chat here. This one is from Ephraim. Thank you so much for that super chat. Really, really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you with the super chats tonight. Very, very generous. Always grateful. It helps out the show a lot. And it gets you featured on the show as well. And so it's a win-win for everybody. Thank you so much. All right, I got to skip down a little bit here, and then I'll read some more of these, and then we'll go to the box score, except I can't because we just got another super chat. This one says, slow it the F down, says John Denver. Thank you so much for that super chat. Yeah, I mean, I read everyone talking about the pace, and the pace is a little bit faster, but tonight was not insane. Like Wednesday's pace was, for Magic standards, it was crazy. It was otherworldly. Tonight, at least me, where I sat, I didn't feel like it was that different, like that drastic, like Wednesday. Was it a little bit faster? Yeah. But is it contributing to guys not making threes, or is it contributing to 20 turnovers? Maybe. The 20 turnovers is possible. That can definitely, contribute to that. But it's not, I didn't feel like it contributed to going 12% from 3, I don't think it contributed to guys missing layups, which there were a lot of those. But I don't know, man. I don't know anything at this point, because I thought I knew what this team was going to be this year, and through 3 games, I don't know. Okay, not reading that one. Joseph Chubb says, going to the game in Charlotte with my wife, kids, and brother. They better not let me and my whole family down. I hope not, brother. I hope not. That would be painful. Man, we just got 2 more super chats. This one's from Jalen Lawson, says, for some silver lining, the 2011 Heat, I know, started 4-5. Pieces still have to come together. After 10, we should see what we actually have. I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Jalen. I hope you're right. And again, sky's not falling for me. I'm not totally panicked. I think it's very possible. Spirit Wolf says, I've heard fire the coach. Is there any truth here? No, guys. No. We're not firing Jamal Mosley 3 games into a season. No. Are there things he could have done better? Sure. Of course. Everybody could do better at everything. But he's not the reason they've shot 3 of 24 from 3 tonight. He's not the reason they shot miserably at the free throw line last night and lost. It's just not. It's not. No. Now, look, we have a long way to go. But say this trend continues. Knock on wood. God forbid. Say this trend continues and this team is just bad. At some point, someone does have to take the fall for it, and it would be him. But I think we are so far away from that. I think we're like 20 games at least away from that. That's just me personally. So I know there's no truth to that. He's not getting fired right now. It's too early for that. Too early. All right, let's take a break from the chat and go over to Le Box Score. Last season, we had a lot of really, really, really ugly box scores, and I would preface it by saying, hide your kids, This box score is rated R. There's a couple stats in here that are rated R, so hide your kids. All right. Franz tonight, a little more quiet than games 1 and 2, ends up with 17 points, but he's relatively efficient compared to most of the rest of the guys on the team. 7 of 15 from the field. Misses only 3-point attempt, also added 7 boards and 3 turnovers. We got Paolo. We talked about him a lot already, but 24 and 10 for him, as well as 2 blocks. Went 9 of 11 from the line, but 7 of 21 from the field. It's just not efficient enough. Wendell, not great offensively. 8 points, 1 of 7 from the field. Did go 1 of 2 from 3 and 5 of 6 from the free throw line, so he'll take that. But he had a couple looks at the rim he'd like to have back, a couple middies he'd like to have back. But did add 13 boards. You give him credit for getting double-digit rebounds tonight. Desmond Bane actually shot the 2 ball really well tonight. 7 of 10 from inside the 3-point line, but 0 of 2 from beyond 3. And unfortunately for all of us, we brought Desmond Bane to knock down threes, and he didn't do that tonight. 0 of 2 for him. Added 5 boards, 3 assists, but 4 turnovers to go along with his 14 points. Tyus Jones, we've talked about him a lot, but here's the stats. Did not score. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal in 14 minutes. Not good. He was a minus 10 in 14 minutes. Yikes. Not great. Who was good tonight? Anthony Black. Anthony Black, let's give it up for AB. Good night for him tonight. 19 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. Hit all 6 of his free throws, added 5 boards, an assist, a steal, a block. Did have 5 turnovers, and some of them were really bad. Don't love that, but offensively, you can't really argue with 19 points from AB tonight, filling in a lot of minutes for Jalen. He played 29 tonight. Jet Howard played 9 minutes tonight. Did not score. Tristan Da Silva, 23 minutes for him. This is his worst offensive game of the season so far. Again, only 3 games, but 0 of 6 from 3 tonight. He felt like he was automatic in the first 2 games. Did not knock one down tonight. Ends up with 8 points. Goga had 3 points, 9 boards. A minus 18 in 17 minutes is very interesting. I'd be hard-pressed to find a correlation there. I don't remember watching Goga tonight and thinking, oh, gosh, he's miserable. The team's falling apart with him on the floor, but maybe I'm missing something. J.I. plays 5.5 minutes tonight. Had that nice putback dunk. Those were his only points tonight. And then we mentioned Jace earlier, got 8 minutes tonight. 1 of 3 from the field. Did not knock down a 3, but ended up with 3 points. Team-wise, Magic shoot 39% from the field, 12.5% from 3. They knocked down 3 3-pointers tonight. That is disgusting. Very poor. They also go 27 of 33 at the free throw line. 20 turnovers for this team as well. All right, some team stats here. Magic win the first quarter and do not win another quarter after that. Not great. They get outscored by 9 in the fourth quarter. Also not great. You were down 3 going to the fourth. You get outscored by 9. You lose by 12. 58 points in the paint, just 10 fast break points, man. We're talking about running fast, like pushing the pace. It goes back to the whole identity thing, right? Like, if that's our identity, we're terrible at it. But I don't think it's our identity anymore. Like, it's been 3 games and we've already regressed back to last season, in my eyes. And again, part of it is it's the second night of back-to-back. You're not going to be able to run as much. I get it, but it's still ugly. Hard to watch. Again, 20 turnovers for the Magic, but at least 24 Bulls points off turnovers. Man, I can't. This performance is exhausting me, apparently, because I can't stop yawning. Good grief. While we're here, let's just go ahead and knock out the scores around the league and the standings as we do on every single episode. Magic lose by 12, 110-98. Wow. Sixers, Hornets, 1-point game with 2.5 minutes to go. That's interesting. Pacers, talk about disappointing. They're down 19 in Memphis right now. Grizzlies just dropped 43 points in the third quarter on the Indiana Pacers. Not great from them. Nuggets are currently up 12 on the Suns halfway through the second, and then the Thunder beat the Hawks by 17. Hey, we lost to the Hawks last night. That's fun. What does it mean for the standings? Well, Magic are going to be under 500, obviously. It puts them all the way down to 12th in the East now. They are currently the lowest seeded team with a win. But, hey, Indiana Pacers are about to be 0-2. Boston Celtics are 0-2, and the Brooklyn Nets are 0-2. So you got some company down there. But Knicks, Bulls, Bucks, all undefeated at 2-0. Hornets, one of the Hornets or Sixers are about to be 2-0 as well, because obviously they're playing each other. So Magic averaging 110 points per game now, which is very interesting considering they had 125 on Wednesday, and they're already down 15 points off of that. Yikes. Not great. Not great. All right, chat, we're at a half hour here. Let's go to the last few thoughts that we can find here in the chat before we call it a night. Again, because this is also a second night of back-to-back for us, so we'll keep it under 35 tonight. Let's see, last couple things here. Kevin Anton says, so many Fire Mosley posts on social media. I'm not there yet, but I have some friends saying the same thing. Thoughts? Yeah, I kind of shared a little bit earlier. It just feels way too early for me. Way too early. I see a lot of people in the chat disagreeing with that, but I don't know, guys. Can you tell me, can you blame Coach Mosley for the team going 3 of 24 from 3 tonight? Can you do that? I can't. It's not like, it'd be one thing if it was like this team is never open from 3. Every 3 is contested. Then I'd say, yeah, that's some terrible coaching. If you're not able to generate open 3s in 2025, that's bad coaching. But that's not the case. These 3s are open. They're open. And I literally feel like this is Groundhog Day. I can't believe I'm having this conversation in October of 2025 because we had it all last season, and I thought there's no way it comes back. There's no way we shoot the ball like this again, and here we are shooting 12.5%. Got a super chat here from another super chat from Ifrain. Says, if I were Mose, I would have pulled a Bobby Knight and thrown a chair on the court to wake up our players. Yeah, that would have gotten some attention. Wake up the players, wake up the refs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You guys are going crazy with the super chats tonight. I really appreciate it. Super helpful. Maddie says, fire Mose and bring in Michael Malone. We've been forcing 3s since 2 years ago. I mean, I do love Michael Malone. That's true, but I'm just not there. I'm not there. Angela says, only keep the Germans. Everyone else is trash. I mean, a little extreme, but I get what you're saying. Nicholas says, pace isn't the issue. It's the types of looks we're getting with the pace. We don't have enough movement going on. Look at how the Thunder and Pacers move. The guys look very indecisive. I think that's partially true, yeah. I definitely think indecisiveness is part of it. Definitely think so. Lots of people blaming pace. Lots of people blaming Mosley. I see it. Jets Magic says, a lot of moving screens by Vooch, and they don't get called. That's 100% true. We see that a lot, though. Vooch is a pretty serious culprit of it. By the way, if your name is Jets Magic because you're a Jets fan and a Magic fan, I'm so sorry. You are really going through it right now. So my heart goes out to you because that's rough existence. Oh, man. Josh says, can't believe I had high expectations for this BS. Back-to-back home losses. This team ain't winning 50 games. Certainly not the way they played the last 48 or 24 hours, 27 hours now at this point. Yeah, no way. Dark Reaper says this team is not competing well, not playing like a team. Nope. Janine says, and the game ball goes to Kevin. Magic Maniacs MVP. Wow, thank you, Janine. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I'm just over here surviving just like all of you. Just surviving through whatever this is. Hopefully it's just a little blip on the radar of still a fantastic season. Another super chat here. This one is from channel member Eric Rivario. Says, for me, the only issue with Mose is we say we have a deep bench, but we wait forever to go deep to the bench. Use the bench. Especially on nights like tonight where the starters' offense isn't there. I do like the idea of going to the bench. I like the idea of Jace earlier in the game, but oh well. Matthew Adkins says, Paolo isn't trash, but he's definitely in a bad slump. He seems to start games irritated, and his attitude hasn't improved. The body language thing, I think, is very legit. We talked about it last night. It's the same tonight. Yeah, it's not great. All right, last couple of thoughts here, and we're going to call it a night. Dark Reaper also says the refs killed us. Yeah, they were terrible. They were awful. Angela says Wendell should not be playing, but Paolo minutes should be restricted. I don't know about Wendell not playing. I mean, who else are you going to play? You going to play Goga instead? I don't think so. Also says we need Mo Wagner. Now, that is a fact we can all get behind. We need Mo Wagner to come back. No doubt. Okay, let's see. A couple more here. We're going to call it a night. Blue Jay says Suggs keeps his team going. We're never trading him. Facts, man. Absolute facts. Dark Reaper asks, will Suggs play on Monday? I believe so. I have not heard any reason not to. He just wasn't playing tonight because the second night of a back-to-back. So he should be back on Monday as the Magic play in Philly. First road game of the season. Reminder that we do have our first watch party Monday night at 10 Roof on iDrive in Orlando. So come on out to that. Join some fellow Magic Maniacs and watch that game. Look, the reason we do the watch parties is because we believe in this community coming together. You know, how many of us are diehard Magic fans but don't have any kind of community to talk about the Magic with? Like, not with casuals, like with real people that are on a late night live stream at 10:07 p.m. after abysmal loss. Like these are your people. If you're here, you're surrounded by your people, and your people also go to those watch parties. And so hope to see you there Monday night for the Magic's first road game. Oh, man. Uni says, it's painful to watch. Bane should be spacing the floor for Paolo, not the other way around. They're misusing him. Should have stuck with the old system. I think there's definitely something to that. It has been very confusing how we're seeing Bane on the ball, Bane getting the paint and kicking out to Paolo, who's open, or Franz, who's open. It should be the other way around. And so I think if there's any nitpicks on the coach, not even nitpick, that's a big thing. If there's a big thing that we can get on the coaching staff for, it's that. We got a large super chat here. Wow. Thank you so much for this very generous one. He says, with all due respect, the coach is the issue. Same problems. Plays are dull and no creativity. Drive and kick until a putback. Wagner shot horrendous for 3 in the playoffs last year and was not held accountable. Same applies now. I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with a lot of what you're saying. The only part I disagree with is the shooting part. That's the part I can't blame Mosley for. Are the plays dull? Yes. Is there no creativity? It feels that way sometimes. Is it a lot of drive and kick? Yes. But that still has generated open threes. And for whatever reason, other than I think we might just be cursed, guys can't knock down open threes. But that doesn't mean that your point is inaccurate, because I think there's absolute validity to that. Thank you so much for that super chat. That's very generous. Very, very generous. But yeah, I think you're absolutely valid in a lot of that. This team's got some soul searching to do. And I think it starts with Paolo, too. I mean, Paolo just hasn't been good enough the last 24 hours. And I'm not saying anything I don't think he would say for himself. So, all right, guys. I don't know a better way to end it. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of silver linings after the first 2 games, especially this little miniature homestand. You start the season all at home, first 3 games, and you look like that. Look like that in the last 2 especially. So I wish I had a better way to end it. But unfortunately, we're at 40 minutes here. Second night of a back-to-back for us. So I'm going to call it here, okay? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hey, we're in for some kind of ride this season. Not the way we started, but who knows? Monday could be the day it turns around. Magic back on the road. Monday, new episode of the 6 Man Show. Jonathan and I will react to all of this Monday morning as well. We'll talk to you then. And until then, let's go Magic.